Hey everybody, Randy here with Academia Christi, back with episode 12 of the Viri Christi garden vlog, here on May the 30th. And as I mentioned at the end of my last video, I have a video of me eating my very first cayenne that had fruited. Quite an interesting one, and once I get a total of 50 subscribers or followers on YouTube and Rumble, I will post that video on both channels, and it should be pretty good. But anyway, without further ado, this is May 30th, episode 12 of Viri Christi Garden Vlog. Enjoy. Okay, and here out to the grapevines, this is the first one. Again, looking nice, but really we've had some weather of extremes lately, mostly just extremely sunny and dry. And so marigold's kind of struggling along, but they're doing their thing. They were just transplanted, I think, a week ago, right after the last vlog was done. Again, yeah, the grape though, see a bunch of nice new growth, shooting this little guy upward. That's good to see. Hopefully maybe we can train one of these back this direction. This one looking quite a lot better in that regard, just straight upward. This branch not actually doing a whole lot itself. I wonder what that's about. You have a nice little, I don't know if you can call that a sucker or not, but almost sucker-esque little branch coming off the back here. Just new growth, I suppose. And these marigolds basically doing the same. You can see they're still growing. New little flower buds coming up. I'd like to get them again spread out the whole way in a couple of years, all around. Got our lovely Macintosh apple tree here. Really leafy, but the flowers looking to me either quite wilted or quite pollinated. I'm hoping the latter, obviously. And down below you can see it has its own marigolds. Got some nice dark red ones. That one doing a little better than the one on the left. But again, they're doing their thing. Going to be out here to water them soon enough. I haven't really watered anything yet today. And finally our honey crisp here, which I wish was a little better structurally. As you can see, we have these, well, this main stem, main trunk probably, which will end up being our main trunk, this will probably get snipped off. Yeah, I guess it's not so bad, but we do have this little knot twist here. Again, those dark red marigolds at the bottom. And again, the flowers, well, I guess they do kind of look pollinated, so it's possible we may have a decent bit of tiny little apples coming up. Who knows? I was going to pass this one up, but I walked past and I figured I would show you. This is an older apple tree that has apparently never done a whole lot of anything. But if you look closely now, really you don't even have to look too close. You'll see several little apples on it. And that may just be because we now have two other types of apple trees to go along with this. Now they don't all look perfect, of course, but hey, that's nature. All right, we will start over here in the backyard now. This is just the parsley and marjoram that has been sitting in these cups because I can't really find anybody to take them. All these inside this tray I think are doing pretty decent. At least they were whenever I split them up. Back here I have 4 of each, and those are going to go in the back garden because they're the least good looking ones. So I figured I'd just, I don't know, throw them in there and see what happens. Over here, this Marglobe tomato, which I was thinking about also putting back in the garden. Not doing great, and again, haven't watered anything yet, so everything looks like it's bone dry. It's because it is, probably. But I'll get to the watering soon enough. Tomato, though, it lost its one main leaf that it had, I guess maybe like 1.5 leaves or whatever. Just has a very tiny one there now, probably going to die unfortunately, but I have tons of other tomatoes we'll see, and you saw in the hydroponic system already. This marjoram, still looking pretty good. Actually, some of these leaf nodes looking a little brown, but I'm not too concerned about that. Again, I'm going to water it today. Again, it's been hot, just hot and dry every single day basically. This parsley, definitely seen better days. There's a couple very, very tiny parsley sprouts there that may have some hope. It could probably be cut back a little bit, honestly. It looks so bad. So does this one. Again, just looks like the heat and the dry is getting to it. I would have to almost water these things twice a day. I mean, the way it looks, because I water every day, it's looking like it needs twice a day. We'll look real quick here. I planted some different types of celery and other greens in the back here, 3 and 3. I still don't see anything coming up. That was several days ago. Kind of expected to see something, but nothing quite yet. You can see that the arugula is doing wonderfully. It's really bushing out. It's almost to the point here where I can get some flower buds out of the middle there, like this. Over here too, not quite big enough to snag that out, but I'll get there eventually. First in the front here are main marjoram. It's really looks like it's starting to die back. Look at all those little straggly, stringy, wilted pieces at the end there. Still obviously nice growth toward the middle. Got a lot of little leaf nodes on it, but it is just really not looking great, to be honest. Could be not getting enough sun. Probably just about 1 o'clock now, and it's about that time, obviously, that it just passes the little eave on the roof. So it really only gets about half a day of sun. Maybe it needs more than that. Basil doing its basil-y things. Can't really see a whole lot of leaf node growth on this one. There's a little bit started on these leaves inside there. So hopefully it'll start bushing out. If it does so, it'll definitely remain one of the best basils we have, because it's still so nice and pretty stocky. And we'll move up to these guys here. This parsley, I guess it's still surviving, but it's growing quite slowly now. Obviously it doesn't have a lot to sustain it, but something, at least there's something there, so it's doing its thing. The dill could actually maybe cut back just maybe this one. These are getting a little brown. That's okay. This means they're a little older, probably a little weathered from being out here, beaten by the wind constantly and all that nonsense. We got our 2 nice sweet basils. Well, this one's bending quite a bit. This is the Genovese. This is the large leaf Italian here, which is the type I'm going to be planting back seed directly by seed in the garden area to try to deter some pests a bit. And again, both of these growing their leaf nodes in here, you can maybe see pretty nicely. Hopefully again they'll start bushing out a little bit now that they're nice and long. These all from the hydroponics, as well as the marjoram down there. That basil actually came from right here. The one that's below here came from a clipping right there, cutting right there. Here, just real quickly, this other little herb patch we had. That parsley is probably done. This one will keep going, I guess. That one might not even be too long for this world, but we can maybe salvage one. I would still like to plant herbs back in here. I'll probably do that this week, hopefully. Finally got a second peanut pot going. This one is the best, third best one we could salvage. It's hanging in there. You may have seen in the real garden the line of all the other peanuts. Everything else we had left, they're not doing great. This one's doing better than them, at least. These two looking just fine though. They're doing dandy. Our older ones here, this guy keeps falling over, unfortunately. I can't quite get this this peanut to stay. All right, and here we are back to some peppers. We got our fish peppers. Here is from the March 2nd and from March 9th. Looking pretty good. It's good as always, I guess. Probably going to be in these pots for a while. Here's the March 16th fish pepper, and the March 16th Ring of Fire cayenne pepper. Basically all looking the same at this point. Wouldn't doubt if there's a couple, or at least one little flower on each of those. Coming a bit closer here, we got our Aleppo chili, which I think is looking much better now that it's in this big pot. Same with our Hungarian black. I really like how this one's looking. Again, I bet we will see some flowering soon, and like we saw in the last video last week, there are some leaf nodes starting toward the where the leaves had fallen off previously. So got them bushing out a little bit, I think. First show these dry herbs we have here. This is the one rosemary we have, and our 3 spike lavender. They look okay, I suppose. They're live. And our 4 sage, which look much better. This one, for some reason, it looks like it's seen better days, but the other ones, this one's doing fine, this one's doing fine. That one is also getting a little brown. I don't know what that's about. It does have a decent spot though, because the sun will eventually start shining right through here, and all those leaves will get a little more in the afternoon and evening. Over here, the last of the peppers we had rooted in water. 4 jalapenos, 2 cayenne, and oh, this is a jalapeno as well in the big container. And here, the pepper brand experiment. Here's our serrano. It's been hanging out. For some reason, it drooped sideways. It's almost like the stem got sucked away, and I just knocked its leaf off, I believe. So it's done. But our pepper brand experiment, I guess it's going. Certainly going well. I can't exactly say that. This failed pepper looks like it failed is a sustainable sprout cayenne from the March 2nd. These all March 2nd, then we have March 9th here, and then the last 3, the 16th. Jalapenos, habanero, cayenne. These look like cayennes. Yeah. Cayenne, jalapeno, habanero, and then I would say jalapeno. These are probably cayennes here then. Yeah, and then habaneros on the end. Yeah, some of these habanero looking better than they looked last week. Even some of these cayenne and jalapenos actually. All these jalapenos are looking decent. Actually, these are cayenne, right? Yeah, these are the cayenne. A couple of jalapenos. This one looks good. Some of these even look good. Remember the 16th, we didn't have good jalapenos and cayenne come out because we waited so long. These cayenne look really nice too, actually. But it does look like not only this, again, this was this sustainable sprout. We also have this one back here that had already sort of failed. This is Rebel Gardens habanero. We do have one more seed starting unit that we just started for this again, just to get one more round since a lot of these aren't doing great. We'll just take a quick look at some of these strawberries, which are drooping very much. In fact, got a couple strawberries forming there. That one will be ripe in a couple days here. Not all looking bad, I guess. Some of these are actually, I mean, most of them are still perked up pretty nice. It's just this one and this one kind of sagging a little bit, but yeah, we'll get to watering soon enough. We got, again, all our other strawberries. This one looking pretty good. Looks like it's established itself in the top of the pot here. Looks like it's got a flower coming out. Nice red flower for the red everbearing. Also have these runners in the side here, hoping that those will take pretty soon, and we'll start even filling up with that. These were all runners that are now successfully transplanted, I believe. That one's looking a little droopy, but that one looks really nice. This one too, looking good. In the back here are the ones the 3 that these came from, in fact. So got 2 more runners on them coming out to here. Over here, just a few more strawberries. I think mostly maybe the regular white flowered strawberries, everbearing. That one's a little droopy, but other than that, doing okay. And also, I don't have the big nice strawberry that I was going to eat on camera because something else got to it before I could. That's why we had to just eat the other one. but it was good. And again, our candy onions, which really need to be transplanted, we can do some point soon, hopefully. They'll just end up going back where the other ones are. And here I'll just give you a quick look of all our nursery things coming up. Pretty nice here. Lavender is looking like it's pushing. Everything's looking nice. I think all this is new growth on the wormwood. All this lighter small stuff, probably new. Hopefully we'll get most of these things in the ground this week. Some marigolds will probably go in the back in the garden, is what was the plan, at least. And take a look at the potatoes quickly. Lost several of the flowers here, wilted and died off on this stem, on this plant. I guess that's normal. Yeah, I'm assuming that's what it's supposed to do. Got flowers all over the other ones now too. Coming up really nice. Don't know how much longer the things will last. Hoping that it's not going to be too much longer before we have some potatoes out of this. And here, just potted up yesterday, we have our sweet basil, which is doing that like little bit of a folded leaf thing. Not curly leaf, but folded leaf. You can see there, maybe you can see that that light green spider that's hanging out right there on that leaf. Again, I think that we want to keep him there because I have never seen anywhere say that spiders are bad. So I'm going to assume that they are good guys. But look at that amazing growth. Oh, I almost smushed him. Look at that amazing growth on this thing. I mean, leaf buds all over the place popping up. On there, got them down here, on every single one of them. I mean, it's looking fantastic. There's only 5 shoots of basil, but those 5 shoots, I mean, they look really nice, making like one nice little bushy looking plant. Over here we have the red basil has tons of shoots. I can't even count them all. Probably a dozen down there altogether. Some of them could probably be plucked out, to be honest, because they're very tiny. Probably leave more room for the bigger nice ones like this guy, these guys over here, this one. But man, do they smell good. And it looks like they're probably going to take just fine. I think this is the kind of size pot that they'll really like. Decent diameter. It's just over a foot, I believe. Straight down. It's like 2 feet. I would imagine at least 2 feet. Take a look at our old peppers. This is the cayenne. You can see his little flower on there. And our serrano. I don't think it has any new flowers on it, but I mean, they're looking okay. And here, since I didn't get a good shot of it last week, my amazing spearmint. So look at how wonderful that is. I mean, beautiful ribbed look on those leaves. Nice spear look like they're supposed to. Just massive bushy thing. And you can even see right here, it's got this little, I don't know if you call it a rhizome or sometimes it's almost like a strawberry runner coming under the soil and pushing up its leaves and starting basically new mint plants. So it's just going to fill up this whole pot eventually, even though it already is kind of filling the whole thing up just with this one plant. And here are 4 lovely hydroponic peppers, round 2. We also have our Generation 2 Nature's Edge cayennes out here. They are they're doing really nicely, but we do have one of them here. It keeps wanting to go sideways. This one, even worse, wants to keep going sideways. It also keeps getting stuck on other plants and kind of holding itself down. I don't know if maybe I'll take that one out soon just to relieve it. But yeah, the other ones, I mean, just look at how much nice leafy growth is on those. Our poblanos, I don't know what's up with that. This one almost looks like it's, I don't think it's been eaten. It's hard to tell, but I don't think it's been eaten. It has the very strange looking discoloration on the back though, back of the leaf. I haven't seen that, I don't think, before. Although again, I have some flower buds starting on there. I have flower buds over on this one. Oh yeah, 2 poblanos. This one, our Anna, or our this one's the yellow hot wax, Hungarian yellow. Doing okay. Yep, it definitely has some flowers on it. It had some brown growth, but that's just those were the flowers I already plucked, just dying back. And lastly, the Anaheim chili back here. This guy here, that's a bad guy. That was like a green flying thing. Wonder if that's an aphid. So we're gonna have to be diligent, I guess, with these guys. And I don't know why all the leaves are curling up like this either, but still looks like one of the better, definitely best of the four. In here on the porch now, things looking pretty good. We'll bring you in closer. We have all our seed starting things up there. Also some seed starting things over here. And then of course our big potted peppers. These are 2 gala apples. I don't actually know how long they will take to potentially sprout. And here are all of our cucumbers. Got our tender green Verplus, our Boston pickling, our Markham Moors, our Space Masters. All of them except 2 Market Moor and 1 tender green coming up right now. Really, really nicely. Here we got the rest of those little jiffy thing, seed starting things. Our 3 cantaloupe, 1 of 3 germinated right now. Got our honeydew, 3 of 6 germinated. Got our crimson sweet watermelon, I believe just the 1 here. We have our sugar babies, none of them yet. And all 5 of the canary melons have come up. And now for the rest of the seed started things. First, we have our 3 zucchini. Thinking about just planting some seeds directly, though. That one's coming up already. I'm sure they'll all come up. The zucchini did really well last time. In the front here are the rest of our cantaloupe. None of them currently coming up. Then we have all of the same cucumbers, 2 of each of the same we saw over there. Got our Market Moors here and here. And over here and in that corner we have Space Masters. Boston pickling next, which means these are the tender green Verplus, and that one has started to come up. And here is the celery we started. I don't have a date on this, but it was at least 2 weeks ago, I think. I think pretty nice germination rate here, over half. Looking much nicer. They've just been hanging out outside now because it's warm enough. And here, I think even more excitingly, finally some really nice looking lettuce. Almost full germination, just 1 of the 2 didn't come up here. But other than that, yeah, full germination. I think, if I did this correctly, it's 2 rows of the Paris Island Cos, 1 row of the Bib, and 1 row of the prize head. Or maybe I did 2 rows of the Bib. Now I can't remember, but I think whatever I said last week was correct. For the 12th, we have used some Roma, Marglobe, and Amish paste tomatoes. All the Marglobe coming up. Let's hope that one works out. 2 of the other ones, maybe more. All right, and now we have some yellow plum, Brandywine red, and large cherry tomatoes. Everything coming up. Just this 1 small yellow plum, but they're all there, and look at those nice true leaves started. And then we have Chadwick cherries, Napa grape, and super sweet cherries. Again, full germination. This is getting really nice germination out of this soil mixture. Actually, I'm not even using a mixture. I think I'm just using the 1 type of soil. I'll have to go check exactly which one that is. Black Krim, beefsteak, Cherokee purple tomatoes, 3 of each. Not bad. But I guess actually some of the worst, but still so good. Those aren't the burpee ones though. And then from the 12th, 2 different pepper trays, the Jimmy Nardellos, the cherries, and the pepperoncinis.
All but the one Jimmy Nardello still. Don't see anything, I don't think. That's alright. Hopefully that seed hat comes off of that cherry. And the pepper brand experiment final round. Another jalapeno. The Serenity seed I think was first, then the Nature's Edge ended up coming up. And the Sustainable Sprout was the first cayenne. Now we have a Nature's Edge of that as well. And I also believe the Sustainable Sprout was the first habanero. And then probably, I would say, probably Rebel Garden next, and then, but who knows? But either way, we'll have to, again, watch the Sustainable or Serena Seeds habanero with the seed hat on there. And now on to the, this was actually the day of the last vlog, the 23rd. Still mostly covered. The grape and plum variety tomatoes. Got 4 of the grapes and no plums. The grapes are burpy, the plums are not. So maybe that has something to do with it. And maybe the plum, it might also be the plum variety just takes a little longer itself. Here we have a tray of all cherry tomatoes, the super sweet, the regular cherry, and the Chadwick. All the super sweet. 3 of the Chadwick, only 1 of the cherry. Again, these are the 2 burpee, and this one that only has 1 is the non-burpee. I think the brand is just called Heirloom Seeds, maybe. I do really like their seeds though so far. Been pretty good. Actually, all my regular vegetable seeds, that's the brand I got. These, the Jimmy Nardello peppers on the left and the California Wonders on the right. Not anything coming up there yet. That's okay, they're peppers. Take a little longer than the tomatoes. Got our Nature's Edge Generation 2 jalapenos here. Were just planted last week. And I don't think there's anything there yet either.
So unfortunately lost a little bit of footage just of these peppers. Here we're a couple days later, but basically the same thing happening, just a little further along. Nice growth. This is the single jalapeno. Very nice growth toward the top. You see all these dark, nice, lush green leaves, and you see basically loaded with little flower buds now. The little flower buds that are big enough that you can see them on camera quite easily, I think. And it's on all its long, bushy-ish limbs, limbs that are getting a little bushier. And then, of course, to the cayenne pot, the very tiny cayenne here which was the biggest one, now cut back the whole way. You can see how well it's pushing out, and it didn't have any leaves or anything at all. It was just its little trunk, and now tons of leaves all over. And I think there's even some flowers starting already on those, but I might pluck those and just let it push out a little more. Here on the very small one, we see more bushing toward the bottom. It seems like it's sending most of its growth downward like some of the other plants are. And again, I think there's some flowers down there that are going to be springing up.
And he now certainly the best looking of the 3. Now propped up as the older one was. And quite easy to see now 2 very nice cayenne forming on the end there, just like the other one did on one long branch. Looks like a couple other ones might be coming. Actually, there's definitely one more here on the end, a little smaller still. And finally, the pot of the 2 jalapenos, which we just took the final fruit off of that we had coming up first. But again, all of these peppers are now fruiting once more, or flowering once more at least. Some of them are fruity, as you can still probably see. I might cut these back a little bit. I'm still not sure if I want to just let them go or not. I think I let them go so long at this point, though, that there are some new flower buds at the top. Except like this. Maybe I'll cut that one off because there's not a whole lot of good going on there. But yeah, pretty good. Pretty good. But anyway, that is it for now. I'll be back next week, of course, again. hopefully Monday to try to get the vlog back to like Thursday or Friday. Hopefully I will see you then. Peace.